Hi, Pam. What if I say in the 16th century, scientists were crazy over a gadget as we are crazy about iPhones today?
I'm not done. My turn. Gentlemen!
Yep, the gadget was microscope. Everyone wanted to lay their hands on it. So let's start with Sir Robert Hooke. Put the picture of Sir Robert Hooke soon on screen. What? There is not a single portrait or picture of Sir Robert Hooke, and nobody knows what he really looked like? Guess why, folks? Well, not because camera was not there during those days. But here's where the story gets interesting. Some people believe that Sir Isaac Newton might have something to do with the disappearance of his portrait. But then perhaps that's Newton.
Interesting work. Thank you. Would be even more interesting if you acknowledged that I had already thought about some of this.
So Hooke was not a one-trick scientist. He worked on microscopes, mechanics, moon, astronomy, spring Hooke's law. Basically, the man had problem leaving anything alone. But in 1665, he was particularly interested in one thing. What was hiding under his microscope? He looked at a thin slice of cork and saw thousands of tiny compartments. They reminded him of tiny rooms occupied by monks or cellulae. So this little word cell was going to become one of the biggest words in biology. And Hooke had no idea that what he named as cells, those tiny rooms, how important they were. We move forward in history because there was another scientist looking through his microscope, saw something which Hooke was not able to see. Leeuwenhoek. His microscope didn't even look like microscopes we use today. It was tiny, almost like a little metal plate with a tiny glass lens. And with this ridiculously small looking instrument, he discovered a microscopic world that was alive. And this tiny world didn't remain secret for long. Even Queen Mary came to Delft to see his discoveries. Unfortunately, Leeuwenhoek wasn't home. So, in his letter 18, dated 9th October 1676, to Royal Society, London, uh, Leeuwenhoek had mentioned about collecting water from Dutch lake and rain-infused water and finding these funny creatures there. He described them like this. The belly was roundish, and on the head there were two little horns which continuously moved. In the rear was a tail about the thickness of a spider's thread, with which it fastened itself and then pulled itself together into a round ball. Hooke said, I see compartments. Leeuwenhoek said, they're alive. While Hooke gave them a name, Leeuwenhoek opened the doors to an entirely new, fascinating world of microscopic organisms. He's called father of microbiology. So scientists knew something strange was happening under the microscope. Plants were having these compartments, animals were having these compartments. Was it just coincidence? Two scientists were about to connect the dots. In 1838, German botanist Matthias Schleiden was studying plants, and he came to a remarkable conclusion. Plants are made of cells. And now Schleiden had an idea that he needed to share with other scientists. He met another German zoologist, Schwann, Theodor Schwann. Does the name ring a bell? Yes, Schwann cells, the cells that surround neurons. Schwann was studying animals. He noticed that animal cells had a thin outer layer. He also concluded, based on his studies, that plant tissue had cell wall and cell wall was unique character of plant cells. So Schleiden and Schwann had connected the dots. Plants are made of cells. Animals are made of cells. But then came a much bigger question. Where do new cells come from? Now, both Schleiden and Schwann believed that new cells were derived from cytoplasma, a formative material. While Schleiden believed that the cells were formed from inside, Schwann thought no, it can be from outside also. And then a new character makes his entry in the growing story of cell theory. He is a pathologist, Rudolf Virchow. He says, I think you're missing something, gentlemen. And that missing piece came in 1855. Rudolf Virchow explained that cells divide and new cells arise from pre-existing cells. Omnis cellula e cellula. Every cell exists from pre-existing cells. Summing up the cell theory, all living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. But these two statements tell us something even bigger. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. So after peeking through increasingly powerful microscopes, scientists have pieced together the cell theory. But wait, what is inside the room? Well, we'll see that in the next video. I have some MCQs for you. You can pause and try to attempt those MCQs and tell me how much you have scored in the comment. So till then, take care.